Welcome to this ICOS technical demo. We will see the basic service orchestration capabilities for ICOS, starting from how to model an application in ICOS, how to express the requirements and the policies, then how ICOS manage the deployment in a multi-cluster cloud edge continuum, and how the network is configured to ensure the connectivity between the components of the application. And we will also see how ICOS constantly monitor the metrics and the policies for the application, and how it can be configured to automatically take some actions in case of violation of the policies. For this demo, we selected a very simple application made of two components. One component which needs to be deployed in an IoT device with a camera attached, and expose the camera images over HTTP. And the second component connect to the stream from the first component and run an object detection algorithm on the images received from the camera, and the user can see the result of the algorithm in a web browser. The hardware for this component, for this demo, will be an edge device that will host the object detection component, plus two IoT devices, each one equipped with a camera, and the two cameras are pointing to different targets, just to see during the demo when the components are deployed in one node and when in the other. Now, the plan for the demo is to initially deploy the object detection on the edge device and the camera component on the first IoT device. Then we will simulate a security violation on this component, and we will see how ICOS can detect this and trigger a violation of the policy that on cascade will migrate the component from the node affected by the security violation to a new node, that in this case is the second IoT device that we prepared for the demo, without redeploying the full application, just moving the component and ensuring the network connectivity at all times. This plan is translated in ICOS, writing this application descriptor, which is a file that is the input for ICOS to know how to manage the application that are deployed. So we have the definition of the two components. We have the requirements for the network connectivities between the components. We have requirements for the nodes, for the selection of the nodes that can be based on some labels, but also, like in this case, on the availability of some devices. So here we are telling to ICOS to deploy this component on a node which has a camera available. And finally, here we also define the policies that ICOS should enforce during the runtime. And in this case, we are using a predefined policy based on the security events that are detected by ICOS. And we also define what to do when we have a violation of the policy. So the remediation action should be a redeployment, in this case, of the component in another node that match all the requirements of the application descriptor. Looking at the three nodes that have been already onboarded in ICOS and are already available in the continuum. So we can see all the characteristics of the node. We can see the security level associated currently with the nodes. We can see the two cameras available on the two different IoT devices, plus some other metrics that are used by ICOS for the matchmaking process and monitoring process of the nodes. Now, to better follow the demo, we can open some terminal windows on the different nodes involved to see what will happen in the nodes when ICOS will try to deploy and move the components of the application. So here we have the hedge device, and we can start a watch process to see what will happen. Then we can connect to the first IoT device, and similarly watch for the changes. And finally, we can connect to the second device and run the same command. Um, then we have to start the application. First of all, we will log in to the system using the credentials stored in our configuration file. We will receive a token valid for some minutes to work with the shell. And then what we have to do is to create the deployment. So this is the application descriptor that has been presented before. Now we are submitting this to ICOS that will basically match make the different nodes, and we select two nodes available for deploying this demo. And as we can see here, the deployment already started, so the object detection has been deployed on the edge device, while we have the camera components deployed on the node with on the first IoT device. Now, this process can be followed also on the telemetry dashboard to see all the data that ICOS collect about the application. So we can select a different dashboard. We select the media application that we just deployed, and we can see how the application has been deployed on these two nodes. We start to see some monitoring data coming, and we can also see the policy that ICOS set for this application, in particular about the security events. And finally, we can also see in the application running, we can here we can expose the we can expose the object detection service, and we can see the application actually deployed and running in the continuum. And so we can see the stream from the first camera because the component has been deployed in the first IoT device. So what we will try to do now is to trigger a security event, a security alert in the first device, and this should be detected by ICOS, and that should redeploy the component in the other node which is available in the infrastructure. Um, so we can execute a command here, trying to execute a command in this particular component of the application. Now we are simulating the fact that we are checking the password for the users of this component. This is detected by ICOS, will be detected and will trigger the migration of the component. Now we see the component is still running on the first node, but shortly ICOS should detect the violation of the policy and should trigger the redeployment of the component. Yeah, we see that now the component is being deleted from this node and will be moved on this second node. Now this is creating the new component on the second node. And the same should be reflected shortly also on the dashboard where we see still the data from the first component. Yes, now see has been deployed on the second component. And as final check, we can check that the application continues to work smoothly because that networking configuration managed by ICOS makes sure that even also in the new cluster, the connectivity is ensured between the different components. So if we go back to the application, and refresh the page, we can see that now a new image is showed in the application because the components now is using the second camera for doing the object detection algorithm. So we saw how to use a security-based metric to trigger a violation of a policy and the redeployment of a component in ICOS. However, this is just an example because ICOS support many other type of metrics that can be used as a trigger for taking action for managing the deployment of an application, including also usage of resources like CPU and memory on the nodes, or also availability of some specific devices on nodes like GPS or camera devices, as we saw in this case, but also some predicted metrics based on historical data for CPU memory consumption of the different nodes.